I'm Wes from Recommended Playing, and this guide is going to cover your equipment progression when using dual blades through Master Rank in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. If you're playing through the base game, you should use the Defender weapons and Black Belt armor to get you through low and high rank and into Sunbreak's content. If you wish to forgo the catch-up mechanics for whatever reason, you should use the base game equipment progression videos on the channel. There will be links in the pinned comment and video description. You should consider starting Master Rank as wiping the slate clean. You'll want to do the standard practice of killing small monsters and carving them, as well as harvesting bugs, mining nodes, and harvesting bone piles for Master Rank materials. Monster Hunter is a pack rat's game after all. Since you're in Master Rank, you should have access to the full suite of high rank decorations. This makes level 2 sockets on Master Rank gear particularly valuable, as you can socket in whatever skills that you see fit. Level 3 sockets can also fit level 2 decorations, so you can consider 3s as slightly more versatile 2s. For your buddy gear, it really does not matter. Anytime you forge some new weapons or armor for yourself, just use the scraps to outfit your Palamute and Palico buddies. Status weapons are usually my preference, but Poison especially feels pretty weak in Master Rank. Consider status, but just outfit your buddies with easy upgrades. Do not go out of your way for anything buddy related. Just go with the flow. As for talismans, I'll be sticking with a Speed Eating 2, Fire Resistance 1, 2 level 2 socket talisman. This is just a convenient way to get whatever skills you're interested in into your gear. If you wish to follow this guide pretty much exactly, you should use any talisman with 2 level 2 sockets. If you have a better talisman, or you have one that you really like, you should make a judgment call and use that instead. Realistically, your talisman doesn't matter too much. Of course, these are merely suggestions. Every Monster Hunter game has gotten progressively easier, and if you want to be a fashion hunter, be my guest. Sunbreak is pretty easy overall. For dual blades, the standard core skills apply. You'll want to emphasize critical eye over attack due to critical synergy. For dual blades specifically, stamina management skills can be helpful. Notable is Stamina Surge as well as Marathon Runner. Stamina Surge will make your stamina regenerate faster. Marathon Runner will increase your ability to stay in demon form as it reduces your stamina drain rate. Stamina management skills are good, but you can alleviate a lot of the need for them by using a dash juice. Your best bet for defensive skills is going to be Evade Window. Personally, I usually go without Evade Window, but experimentation with a few levels of Evade Window and Evade Extender can feel very strong. As a general rule, defensive skills aren't that good in Monster Hunter. In Master Rank, if you get hit, you're going to be chunked for about 30 to 60% of your health regardless of your defensive skills. Every single time you get hit, you should immediately sheath your weapon and heal yourself. That's just kind of the name of the game. As a result, I would advise defensive utility skills over true defensive skills. Skills like Speed Eating and Free Meal are generally more useful than Defense Boost or Divine Blessing. Now it's time to get started. Your first task to get into Master Rank will be to hunt a Daimyo Hermitar in the urgent quest, Uninvited Guest. Daimyo Hermitar is weak to Thunder, Fire, and Ice in that order. Equip yourself appropriately using your best high rank weapons and armor. You will want to try to break the Daimyo Hermitar's shell for a time-worn Crimson Horn. This also can be obtained by capturing. This isn't a huge deal if you don't get one, but it will give you a little bit of an upgrade immediately. Once you've beaten Daimyo Hermitar, you'll have to do a series of tutorial missions. Complete these and you'll get moved to El Gato, your new hub for Master Rank. Before we get into standard game progression, there's one more task to take note of. In Sunbreak, you'll get access to follower quests. These give you NPC helpers to assist you during your hunts. These have their own unique progression from the main story. If you ever need to hunt a monster multiple times for equipment, check the follower hunts to see if you can make progress there. Eventually, you will want to complete all of these as there are weapon and armor recipes unlocked from them. Most of these are pretty lackluster and skippable, but for completion's sake, you'll want to complete every quest eventually. Now on to the main story. Starting off in Master Rank 1 star, you'll need to do 2 key quests from a list of 4. You should start with a Sinking Feeling to hunt 15 Hermitar or Velociprey. You should focus largely on Velociprey for their carves. During this hunt, you should also begin harvesting bones and ores to start your Master Rank stash. Once you're done with a Sinking Feeling, you should be able to build the entire Velociprey set. If not, you can repeat it again or free hunt to get more materials. The Velociprey set is a nice baseline armor that you can use for early Master Rank. You should forge the helm, mail, braces, tassets, and greaves if you wish. This will give you attack boost, stun resistance, capture master, and the fairly useless windproof. You'll get a good series of level 2, 3, and 4 sockets to exploit as well. The Hunter's Mail X is a strong alternative to the Velociprey Mail, so you can consider it a good option. It also uses very similar materials. The skills are Attack Boost, Handicraft, and Item Prolonger. The Velociprey has Attack Boost and Windproof, but it does have a level 4 socket. Generally, the Hunter's Mail is a little nicer here. If you were fortunate enough to get a time-worn Crimson Horn from your mandatory Daimyo Hermitar hunt, you can consider building a Hermitar Coil. This has Handicraft and Quick Sheath, but more importantly, it has 2 very valuable level 2 sockets. Next up, you will want to consider a Master Rank weapon. The earliest weapon options are the Crab Horns from Daimyo Hermitar, or the Double Droth Plus from Royal Ludroth. These are both very comparable. Specifically for dual blades, elemental damage is a very high priority. The Double Droth Plus are better in element and sockets, but do have less sharpness overall. If you can build the Crab Horns after your mandatory hunt, you should probably pick them up. Otherwise, you can hunt Royal Ludroth for the Double Droth Plus. Both of these are not the endgame path, they are simply a bridge weapon to get there. If you like the look of the Double Droth Plus, you can hunt Royal Ludroth in the key quest, You Had Me at Poofy. You'll want to beat and carve regular Ludroth and collect monster bones during this hunt as well. Hopefully you get the materials to build the Double Droth Plus at the end of the hunt. Keep in mind that you can build these outright or work your way through the upgrade tree. If you spent a lot of time in high rank, it's likely more feasible to build them through the tree. Building outright is awfully convenient though. Just check the materials and your stash and compare them. Royal Ludroth's Ludroth Mail X and Ludroth Braces X have some stamina management skills that you may wish to consider. The Ludroth Braces X are decent for their 2 level 2 sockets. You should consider them. If you've opted not to hunt Royal Ludroth, you should instead hunt Kuluyaku in the key quest, Need a Hunter ASAP. Kuluyaku's Greaves are a better alternative to the Velociprey Greaves. You'll maintain stun resistance 2, but gain critical eye 2, which is much better than windproof. You will lose a level 2 socket, but level 2 critical eye is worth 2 level 2 sockets, so it is a net positive. Great Izuchi's entire armor set is a nice alternative, but all of this early game armor will be replaced. You can hunt Great Izuchi in the optional quest, Reap What You Sow if you prefer its skills to the Velociprey/Hunter mix set. Otherwise, you'll need to do this as well as the key quest to progress the storyline. If you're fine just moving forward, just do the key quests. All of that being said, if you're using endgame high rank armor, these early offerings are not overly enticing, especially if your high rank armor is fully upgraded. You can choose to forego armor upgrades until you feel the need to upgrade. My first playthrough, I personally didn't upgrade my armor until just before fighting Malzeno. If you feel like you're taking too much damage, go ahead and upgrade. If you think you can hold off, you can feel free to do that as well. For weapons, you will want to upgrade as soon as possible. This will make all of your first and subsequent hunts faster. And the fact is, the more hunts you can get down in a certain time frame is the more materials you can get, so killing power is preferred. After completing the first 2 key quests, you'll get an urgent quest for a Tetranodon blockade to hunt a Tetranodon. Tetranodon is weak to fire and strong against water. You'll want to either use your fire dual blades from high rank or your defender dual blades and take on Tetranodon for the urgent. Afterwards, you'll still be in master rank 1 star, but you'll get a new set of key quests. This will be standard moving forward, so don't worry too much about it. Right away, you'll want to complete the new key quest, It Could Be Worse, to hunt an Acnosom. Acnosom's armor isn't that great, but it holds the early fire element dual blades in master rank. Hunt Acnosom in master rank, and when you have the materials, you'll want to forge the Dawn Moon daggers. This could take you multiple hunts, and unfortunately, you will have to work through the tree as there's no jumping off point. You should head back to low rank or high rank to hunt Acnosom in those levels if you need more materials. Once you have the Dawn Moon daggers, you can move on to the next set of key quests. The standouts here are Brr plus Zzz equals, and Baroth to a great start. Either or both of these will be fine. All of the monsters in these quests are weak to fire, so your new Dawn Moon daggers are the go-to. Baroth to a great start is going to take on a Baroth, and it's a good option for a chest upgrade. The Baroth Male X has attack 2 and defense 2 with a level 4 socket. The chest armor also has muck resistance 2, which you'll get a tiny amount of value out of when hunting Baroth, Juratotus, or Almudron. Alternatively, you can do Burr plus Z equals for Lagombi and Great Baggy. Lagombi and Great Baggy have some decent offerings in terms of armor. The Lagombi Vambraces are strong when using an Ice Dual Blade. This is because when socketed with an Expert Jewel and a Frost Jewel, you can get level 3 Critical Eye and level 4 Ice Attack on a single piece of armor, which is very nice. Unfortunately, these require a rare, large Beast gem, which is just not worth farming for at the moment. Great Baggy's Coil and Greaves can replace pieces that you currently have. Great Baggy materials are required for some future armor upgrades, so you're better off on holding on to them for now. Once you've completed those 2 key quests, you'll get an urgent quest for Scarlet Tengu in the Shrine Ruins. Blood Orange Bishatin is weak to water, so you should use Double Droth Plus, Crab Horns, your Defender weapons, or your old trusty Mud Twister from high rank. Once you've completed the hunt and taken out Blood Orange Bishatin, you can finally move on to Master Rank 2-star. A new star level means new key quests. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of gear from these monsters worth considering. The only standout is Keizu for an upgrade to the Keizu Scards. You should start by hunting Keizu in the key quest, the Alabaster Devourer. Try and break Keizu's back for a Keizu Special Cut. Once you've beaten Keizu, you can upgrade the Keizu Scards into the Keizu Scards Plus. This should be a fairly easy and reliable upgrade. However, these are not true Thunder Dual Blades. The problem is Thunder Dual Blades are heavy material investments and show up very late, and overall are not that valuable in Master Rank compared to other Elemental Dual Blades. These Keizu Scards will do in a pinch for the few times that we will need them. Next up, you may as well do Bird Wyvern Jamboree since it's just an Aknasom and a Kuluyaku. This is an opportunity to get materials for upgrades you may have missed out on. More importantly, it's easy, and you can use it to clear the key quests and move on from this tier of kind of nothing monsters. You'll also likely need their materials shortly. It's a win-win. After 2 key quests, you'll get another mid-star urgent. This time it's provoking an Anjanath's Wrath to hunt, you guessed it, an Anjanath. Anjanath is weak to water, so adjust accordingly. Anjanath actually holds an upgrade to the Dawn Moon daggers, so this is worth pursuing. This does require a Fey Wyvern gem, so you'll likely need to hunt additional Raptor-style monsters in Master Rank. This includes Aknasom, Great Azuchi, Pookie Pookie, and Kuluyaku. Once again, these are not the end-all fire dual blades, but an upgrade is an upgrade at this point. You should upgrade your Dawn Moon daggers into Dawn Moon daggers plus using Anjanath and Aknasom materials. Anjanath has some okay armor, but most of the good stuff, like the coil, requires a very rare mantle. It's not worth farming this time. After the urgent, you'll get a new set of key quests in standard fashion. Most of the monsters of this tier are just very lackluster. You never want to hunt Basarios with dual blades, and Juratotus is an obnoxious punching bag. You'll want to do the key quests. Now that's what I call great, to hunt Great Azuchi, Great Roggy, and Great Baggy because it's just really easy. Then you want to do the quest Rumble in the Jungle because Tobi Kadachi's armor is a very strong set of upgrades. Tobi Kadachi has the first armor set that's reasonable to build every piece of if you choose. The full ensemble will give you Jump Master, Constitution 5, Critical Eye 6, Mind's Eye 3, Critical Element 3, and Fortify. You'll be able to customize the rest of the skills using the 4 level 1 sockets, 2 level 2/3 sockets, and 2 level 4 sockets. This is a reasonable set to farm for, and you can consider it. Alternatively, you can maintain some pieces from Baroth, Kuluyaku, or Ludroth sets to push forward with reduced farming. We're rapidly approaching some better and more long-lasting armor sets. If you want, Tobi Kadachi's dual blade is fine, but it's severely outclassed later on. Ice, water, and fire elements will get much more use in Master Rank, and Thunder does get sidelined. You can forge it if you wish, but it's safe to skip this time around. After completing the 2 key quests and maybe farming those cute little buns off for the Tobi Kadachi equipment, you can tackle the next urgent. This is a rocky rampage to hunt new monster Garangolm, the first truly new monster to Sunbreak. Garangolm's elemental weaknesses are thunder, followed by fire, and then ice. You can use the Keizu Scards Plus if you farmed for them, otherwise you should just use your Dawn Moon Daggers. Once you've cleared the rocket jumping ape, you can move on to Master Rank 3-star quests. Finally, some good monsters. You'll need to do 3 more key quests for the next urgent. You can start wherever you'd like here, but you'll want to do the Trial of the Almudron to hunt Almudron, then My Cianatar Gently Weeps to hunt Shogun Cianatar, finally White Knight on Ice to hunt a Barioth. Starting off, Almudron holds the upgrade to the Best Water Dual Blade. You should hunt Almudron in the Trial of the Almudron for materials. Use your Dawn Moon Daggers here. You can then build the Mud Slicers outright, or upgrade them from your high-rank Mud Twisters. Do whatever is easier and you have the materials for. It's less materials to upgrade, but if you have to go back to high rank for material farming, it is pretty annoying. Almudron has a few interesting armor pieces, namely the Almudron Mail X for Razor Sharp and Power Prolonger. This requires a rare mantle, however, and we're going to want to save that for a weapon upgrade later. Get the Mud Slicers, and move on to the next monster. Hunt Shogun Cianatar next in My Cianatar Gently Weeps. Shogun Cianatar has a weird mixed weakness. You should use fire or thunder. They're strong against different parts. Technically, Shogun Cianatar has the materials for upgrading the Double Droth Plus and its own bladed edges at this tier. Almudron's Mud Slicers end up with the highest water element, and that's really what we're looking for. Where Shogun Cianatar really shines is the armor set. The whole set is a reasonable choice for you as a dual blade user. You'll get value of every skill except Pierce Up, which is an odd choice for this set, but, you know, alright Capcom. Grinder S is kind of interesting, but you should rarely, if ever, be dropping below blue sharpness. Marathon Runner works well, and of course, Critical Eye 7 is our go-to damage skill. Personally, I would work to forge the Cianatar Helm, the Cianatar Coil, and the Cianatar Greaves. These are both the easiest pieces to make, and they're nicely tied with armor from the next monster. You do not need to get it all now. We will hunt Shogun Cianatar at least one more time throughout main story progression. Barioth is up next, and you should hunt it on the quest White Knight on Ice. Barioth is weak to fire, so adjust accordingly. Barioth does hold the upgrade to Keizu's Keizu Scards Plus. You'll need a Hard Claw and a Keizu Special Cut. This is honestly just not worth farming, but it is something that you can consider. Once again, the armor is where Barioth shines. Most of the Barioth set is focused around Quick Sheath and Maximum Might. These are fine, but they're not overly great for dual blades. That being said, you should look at the Barioth Mail X and the Barioth Vambraces X. These provide Maximum Might, Quick Sheath, and Critical Eye. Notable is that the Barioth Mail X has 2 level 2 sockets. This is very valuable for fitting in whatever your skills of choice are. The Barioth Mail X does require a large Wyvern gem, which is from monsters like Barioth, but it shouldn't be unreasonable to farm one. You'll also need Supple Peels. These are from Zamites, the frog sharks that linger around the Frost Islands. You'll need to hunt a few of these for the Supple Peels, so make sure you track them down while you're in the area. The Barioth Coil is also strong for Critical Eye, Critical Draw, as well as Part Breaker. It requires great baggy materials, but you should have a few in the bank. Maximum Might may not seem overly powerful in dual blades because in demon mode your stamina will continually drain, but if you can focus on keeping stamina high while in Archdemon mode, you can get some value out of it. It is definitely worth picking up some pieces of the Barioth set. Now you should equip your Dawn Moon Daggers and your new armor and move on to the Urgent, except keep it busy to hunt Aurora Somnicanth. Once you're done, a new set of key quests will emerge at this tier, but we need to talk about Aurora Somnicanth. The armor's alright, it's not overly special one way or the other. The Barioth/Cianatar mix set is more ideal in my opinion. Aurora Somnicanth does have the best ice dual blade currently available. You'll want to forge the Bloom Snow Claws. You can build these outright, or work your way through the low and high rank Somnicanth trees. This is your choice. You should make a decision based on your banked materials. The Bloom Snow Claws just have way higher ice elemental compared to Barioth's offering. The higher the ice damage, the better the scaling, and Aurora Cant has 56 versus the 31 from Barioth's. The harsh reality is that elemental damage is way harder to get than Affinity. The Blizzarioths unfortunately are getting benched in Master Rank. It's time to embrace your new Bloom Snow Claws. Once you have these Bloom Snow Claws, start with the next key quests. Start off by completing the key quest Rock Razor Pincers to hunt a Daimyo Hermitar and a Shogun Cyanitar. This is because multi-monster hunts are easy, and you can try and finish out any Shogun Cyanitar armor that you haven't finished yet. The rest of the options aren't great, so you can choose whichever you prefer. Nargacuga is the obvious choice in Shadow in the Jungle. Use your Dawn Moon Daggers or the Keizu Scards here. Nargacuga's armor set is a decent offering if you wish to incorporate Evade Window or Evade Extender. This isn't necessarily better or worse than the Barioth/Cyanitar mix set, it's just got a different flavor of skills. Unfortunately, a few pieces require rare materials and they just aren't worth the time to farm. If you need an upgrade and can build it after your mandatory hunt, you should go ahead and do that. Arachnakadaki has the only other armor pieces worth considering. Hunt it next in a Sandy Spider's Nest. You can test out your new Bloom Snow Claws. Arachnakadaki's Greaves have Stamina Surge and Constitution. They could be worth considering depending on how valuable you find the stamina management skills. They will likely require multiple hunts, which makes them a little less appealing. If you want a lot of stamina, you can consider these. After the key quests, you'll get the next Urgent. This is Ice Wolf, Red Moon to hunt Lunagaron. Lunagaron is weak to fire, so get out those Dawn Moon Daggers. Lunagaron's gear is mostly pretty underwhelming. Most notable is the helmet, which has Critical Eye 2, Wirebug Whisperer 1, and 2 level 2 sockets. If you can build this, it's worth taking advantage of. That being said, you need a Lunagaron Frost Jewel. It's not worth farming for at this point. The Frost Moon Blood Claws look cool, but their ice element is just too low to be usable, unfortunately. Typical business otherwise. New rank, new key quests. Honestly, nothing stands out at this rank as going out of your way for. I've hunted enough Rathalos for one lifetime. Instead, you should start with Pincers vs Pyro to take out a Shogun Cyanitar and a Rathian. This is an easy quest, and also more opportunities to finish pieces of the Shogun Cyanitar set. Next up, you should hunt Diablos and Dust Devil Despot. Despot? Diablos is very weak to ice, and the Bloom Snow Claws have it in spades. 2 key quests down means the next Urgent. This is In Search of the Doctor. You'll have to hunt an Astalos here. Astalos is weak to ice, so keep those Bloom Snow Claws on. Astalos has a very strong set and a better Thunder Dual Blade option than Tobi-Kadachi. You're free to consider the Twin Wyvern Beams, but we're not going to get a lot of value out of a Thunder Dual Blade. The most notable pieces of gear are the Astalos Greaves and the head, armor, and arms. Starting off, the Greaves have level 3 Razor Sharp and Thunder Attack 3 with 2 level 2 sockets. If you are using a Thunder weapon, this can easily be Thunder Attack 5 Razor Sharp 3. These are strong boots regardless of wasted itemization while using other elemental types, however. The Astalos Helm, Astalos Mail, and Astalos Braces have Stamina Surge, Stun Resistance, and Chain Crit. Chain Crit is very powerful with dual blades because it increases your raw and elemental damage as you continually attack a monster. Elemental damage increases are hard to get, so that makes this very valuable. Is it worth farming for? It's possible. You'll need a rare mantle for the mail, which makes it a lot less appealing to farm for. There will be future opportunities for Chain Crit, so I would personally just continue forward, but you can stop to farm Astalos if you wish. You can make a luxury set, which involves Chain Crit 3. Alternatively, you can make a pretty reasonable compromise set for Chain Crit 2. The Astalos gloves can be used in a later set, so they're worth picking up regardless. After Astalos, you'll get a new set of key quests for Master Rank 4-star. Easily the best starting point here is for Hot Mud in Your Eye. This is to hunt Magma Almudron. Magma Almudron is weak to both water and ice, but ice edges it out ever so slightly. You'll want to do this quest for a superior fire dual blade. The Magma Slicers have very high fire element, as well as a small amount of white sharpness. You'll lose a level 1 socket, but upgrade the 2 into a 3. The level 3 socket is basically a 2 for all intents and purposes. You can build the Magma Slicers outright, which is nice, but it does require 2 tails. This is difficult for one monster unless you get it as a capture reward and a tail carve. You can work through the Almudron tree if you have lots of resources from high rank. Regardless, you'll want to pick up the Magma Slicers. These are the primary fire dual blades. After Magma Almudron, you'll want to pick something to hunt next. You could play it safe with Barioth and Magna Mallow in White Knight Armored Warrior, or you could hunt a Zinogre in Sacrilegious Thunderwolf. Zinogre has yet another Thunder Dual Blade, and it's the best one we'll see for a while. But no Thunder DBs this time. Big skip. 2 more key quests down, and it's the next urgent for Espinas in A Slumbering Jungle Espinas. Espinas is weak to ice. Sounds like penis. There's nothing of value from Espinas. Hunt it and move on with your life. We're still trapped in Master Rank 4-star, but there's another 4 key quests. All of the choices here aren't immediately useful, but you will want to hunt Gormagala in Dark Wings Dark Work. This is an investment in the future. Hunt it now for materials. Gormagala is weakest to fire at the moment, so it's a great chance to finally test those Magma Slicers. Bank the materials once you're finished. Next, you have a few choices. Again, nothing stands out as great, so you can do whatever you want. Spooky Citadel is going to be the easiest with a Garangolm and a Lunageron. Once again, this is another chance to test out those Magma Slicers. Once those 2 key quests are completed, you'll finally get the last urgent of Master Rank 4-star. This is to hunt Malzeno in Witness by Moonlight. Malzeno is weakest to Dragon Element, but fireworks in a pinch. Rev up your Magma Slicers and take on Malzeno. I will say that Malzeno is quite a difficulty spike compared to everything else we've fought so far, so you'll want to make sure your armor is fully upgraded and you're well stocked up on healing items. You'll be able to come out successfully eventually. Malzeno's equipment looks appealing at first glance, but overall it's not actually that interesting. The Duke's Cleavers are your strongest Dragon Dual Blade option at the moment, but the key word there is at the moment. You're free to pick up the Duke's Slicers if you wish, or if you have the materials after your mandatory hunt. Otherwise, these are actually safe to ignore. New options will be available soon that outclass them by like a huge margin. Armor-wise, Malzeno's helmet is basically a worse Lunageron helm, but it is arguably easier to build. This once again has 2 level 2 sockets, with Weakness Exploit 1 and Wirebug Whisper 2 making it a consideration. The only other pieces worth considering are the chest and waist for Malzeno's unique skill of Bloodright. Bloodright makes it so your attacks will heal you when you attack a broken monster part. This is cool thematically for Malzeno, but not overly practical. You will get 0 value out of Bloodright until you break something, and then you have to have taken damage and be attacking that part for full value. Thematic and cool, practical, not really. Worth noting here is that Elder Dragons are now available. This gives you access to large Elder Dragon Bones. These are a key upgrade material for both the Mud Slicers and Bloomsnow Claws. You'll need 5 large Elder Dragon Bones total for both upgrades. You can technically get these now if you wish to farm Malzeno, but it's more realistic to get these over time throughout the main story. As soon as you get the materials, you should upgrade your Mud Slicers into Mud Slicers Plus. This does require a rare Almudron Mantle, so it will likely require a few hunts of farming. Next, you should upgrade your Bloomsnow Claws into Bloomsnow Claws Plus. This is an easier upgrade, but it does require a large Wyvern Gem. The Bloomsnow Claws Plus will be more useful immediately, so you should prioritize upgrading these. You'll have to fight more Elder Dragons throughout the story, so pick up these upgrades whenever you can. Master Rank 5-star has a new set of key quests. You'll want to tackle Settle the Score to hunt Rajang, followed by Blade Cloaked in Darkness to hunt a Gormagala and a Seregios. Rajang, just like in high rank, has some pretty stylin' pants. The Grand God's Pure Feet have Critical Boost 2, Latent Power 1, and Flinch Free 2 with 3 level 1 sockets. These are best paired with a helmet, just like in high rank, and you can probably guess what it is, but it's not currently available. For now, you should consider building the pants, but you don't necessarily want to break your current set just yet. This is more for endgame synergy. Keep that in the back of your mind. Next, simply hunt Gormagala again, this time with Seregios. We'll need Gore Magala parts shortly, so you may as well make some progress while gathering materials. It's also practice for the next urgent quest. Wink. Gore Magala is weakest to fire, and Seregios is weakest to thunder, followed by ice. You'll have to settle for second best here unless you went out of your way for Keizu, Astalos, or Zenogre's Thunder Dual Blades. Take out Gore Magala with fire, and then head back to camp to swap to your ice set. Once you've completed those 2 key quests, you'll get the next urgent. This is Dark Citadel, White Wheel to slay Shigeru Magala. Shigeru Magala's armor is pretty decent, but it does suffer from being a little bit too specific. The skills have good synergy with each other, but there are some issues with uptime. You can farm it and try it out if you wish. I generally prefer to have consistency with skills. The real winner here is Shigeru Magala's Dual Blade, Les Apotres, or the Apostles if you're not from Quebec. The reason we fought so many Gore Magalas is for the beautiful efficiency that it yields. Hopefully after the required hunts, you'll have the materials to build Die Fleiderklauen from Gore Magala outright. Then you just need to hunt Shigeru Magala until you can upgrade the Fleiderklauen into the Apostles. These have decent raw, natural purple sharpness, 37 dragon damage, and a whopping 35% affinity. The dragon damage is on the low end, but fortunately for you, this is about as good as it gets for dragon elemental weapons. 35% affinity is worth essentially 6 level 2 sockets in terms of critical eye value. The fact that the Apostles has no sockets isn't a huge problem because of this. These are by far your best dragon dual blade options. They absolutely dumpster Malzeno's offerings, and in his own game no less. The Apostles are worth farming for and building right now because guess what? Your next key quests are all Elder Dragons, baby. Your options are Chameleos, Kushala Daora, and Teostra. You'll need to hunt 2 of them. Chameleos is the easiest by like a huge margin, but there's also nothing on offer worth considering. Kushala Daora has a couple of noteworthy pieces, but it's not worth going out of the way for. Teostra is the king once again. Teostra has several pieces worth picking up right now if you're willing to farm for them. These will be used in most endgame builds, so no time like the present, am I right? First up, the Kaiser Crown X. This is an incredible helmet just like in high rank. You'll get Critical Eye 3, Critical Boost 1, and 3 level 1 sockets. This is worth building immediately. These do require a rare, large Elder Dragon Gem, which is terrible, but you'll be farming a lot of Teostra. Hopefully you can get it easily. Make sure that during your hunts, you cut the tails for extra carve chances. Speaking of Teostra tails, you'll need a few to upgrade the Magma Slicers to the next tier. This should be a lower priority than your armor. That being said, you should upgrade these whenever you get the chance. Next up is the Kaiser Mail X. This armor gives Critical Eye 2, Master's Touch 2 with 2 level 1 sockets. These are great to pair with the Kaiser Crown X and a high affinity weapon like the Apostles for enhanced sharpness durability. The Teostra boots and arms are good, but not necessarily better or worse than your current offerings. Finally, the coil is noteworthy. This coil has Teostra's Blessing 2, which gives you 10% increased fire damage. This is strong as it's one of the only ways to increase your elemental damage. You'll want to have this for when you're using fire weapons, but you can hold off for a little bit. Prioritize the Kaiser Crown X and the Kaiser Mail X. These are best tied with Rajang's Grand God's Pure Feet. You'll also need a new belt, but one of your best options is the Remobra Belt X. You'll need Nargacuga materials and deadly poison sacks from monsters like Pookie Pookie. Of course, you'll need to farm some Master Rank Remobra for materials. You can easily find Remobra in the Frost Islands. Make sure to hunt some and carve them for materials. Now pick up the Remobra Belt X. This belt has Critical Element 2 and 2 level 2 sockets giving you some customization in your build. For your hands, well, you can just maintain the Barioth Van braces or Astalos' braces if you grinded for them. Getting a whole lot of value out of these gloves. Once you've finished that set, now you can finally finish out the rest of the key quests. Kushala Daora is worth considering. Kushala Daora's gloves give you plus 10% water and ice attack, so they're worth considering building at some point. For now, just take your pick. You can finish off Chameleos or the Cushmaster and move on to the final urgent quest. The last urgent quest of the main story is Proof of Courage. This is to tackle the archdemon of the depths, Geismagorm. Geismagorm is weak to dragon element, so call in the boys and bring out the apostles. Once you've completed the quest, the credits will roll and you'll have finished Monster Hunter World Sunbreak. Your master ranking will now become uncapped. Of course, if you want to see everything, there's still quite a bit of game left to do. You'll be given a new task and a new urgent to slay an afflicted Arzuros. Honestly, this Arzuros may be the hardest monster that you fought so far, and I kinda wish I was joking. It's mastered the art of move forward quickly, the hardest move to deal with in all of Monster Hunter. It's still just an Arzuros, this should be a relatively painless hunt. This will unlock a new series of quests, the Anomaly quests. These provide materials to push all your weapons to a final tier. A lot of these upgrades are barely worth anything. We're talking like 10 raw damage and 2 element, but upgrades are technically upgrades. New tiers of Anomaly quests will become available as you improve your master rank. Let's talk about Geismagorm before we move any further though. The weapon is strictly worse than the Apostles for dual blades. Weak elemental damage and minus affinity is brutal. It's completely outclassed here. Armor wise, there's some juicy pieces to sink your teeth into. First up, the Archfiend Armor Ura, the Waist Armor, has Weakness Exploit 1 and Chain Crit 2 with a level 4 socket. I like to incorporate this into my build with a level 2 critical element decoration in the level 4 socket. Makes it pretty potent. The Waist having Chain Crit 2 also means it's the most expensive piece, requiring a rare Abyssal Dragon's Fire. This will be worthwhile to build though. You can tie the Archfiend Armor Ura with the Astalos Vambraces for Chain Crit 3. The Archfiend Armor Baulo, the chest armor, also has Weakness Exploit and Chain Crit 1 with a level 3 and level 2 socket. Personally, I prefer the Kaiser Mail to this, but if you want to maximize Chain Crit, this is a solid piece to consider. The helmet has Weakness Exploit 1, Resentment 2, and a level 4 and level 2 socket. This helmet's pretty strong, but generally it's outclassed by the Kaiser Crown once again. The Geismagorm arms and legs have a unique skill, Dereliction. Dereliction increases your elemental and status values when using the red scroll, and when you swap scrolls, you can recover health. This is not really a big secret, but I kind of grug my way through these games. I have quite literally and will never use skill switching in Sunbreak, so your mileage is going to vary. I can safely say if you're going to try this out, using red scroll will be a priority since it increases your elemental damage. You can consider this set, but generally these large monster fights are just not that fun. Giant punching bags. Yuck. You'll have to do whatever quests you see fit to reach Master Rank 20 for the next Urgent. You can farm for whatever you see fit here. Progressing through the follower quests are a good option to gain some new recipes. Alternatively, you can continue to farm the endgame dragons, or just wantonly slaughter easy monsters to raise your hunter rank. Once you get to Master Rank 20, you'll have to fight Wind Serpent Ibushi in the urgent quest, Retribution. Sounds like a job for the Apostles. Ibushi's gear is super lackluster once again. It's the exact same as in high rank, only this time it has sockets. You can make a better set using gear from Master Rank 4-star than any of Ibushi's sets. Hunt Ibushi once, clear the urgent, and move on with your life. The next urgent is at Master Rank 30. You may want to take a look at the new tier of Anomaly quests, or just continue doing whatever you like to progress. At Master Rank 30, you'll get the urgent for Spine-Tingling Divinity Reprise. This is to slay the Master Rank version of All-Mother Narwa. At the very least, All-Mother Narwa has the best Thunder Elemental dual blade in the game. All-Mother Narwa's double discharge has 300 attack, natural purple sharpness, and a whopping 69 thunder damage. Nice. This is the only Thunder Elemental dual blade worth building. That is, if you can handle farming All-Mother Narwa. I've done it like 5 times, I'm not gonna finish it out. We've gone through the entire game without a real Thunder dual blade. We just don't need one right now. Narwa's armor can be linked together with Ibushi for bonuses. You can consider attempting it, but it's not going to be better than your current offerings. Storm Soul does not apply to skills socketed in via decorations. This set is severely overpriced and undoubtedly undervalued. Next! Now you'll get a new tier of Anomaly quest to take a gander at. Otherwise, just get to Master Rank 50. At Master Rank 50, you'll get the Urgent for Pierce the Heavens. This is for Furious Rajang, a slightly more aggressive Rajang with a slightly altered moveset. Thrilling. Furious Rajang has a unique upgrade path compared to Rajang for weapons. The Demon Lord Fist has strong attack and natural purple sharpness with 2 level 2 sockets. Unfortunately, its thunder damage is pathetic, and that's priority number 1 on dual blades. Skip. However, Rajang Apoplexy are used for upgrading the Apostles. This requires 2 Rajang Apoplexy and a Shigeru Miyamoto Mantle. Lots of rare materials. This upgrade gives you 10 raw, increased purple sharpness, and 6 dragon element. Nothing to sneeze at. Upgrade your Apostles to Les Shangri-La, or as we would say in English, the Shangri-La. This is the last dragon dual blade you'll ever need. Furious Rajang has a few armor pieces to consider. The Divine Ire Obi has Chain Crit 1, Critical Element 2, and Razor Sharp 1 with a level 3 socket. This is worth considering depending on your preferences. If you stick a Critical Element 2 decoration in the Archfiend Armor Ura, you'll get Chain Crit 2, Weakness Exploit 1, and 2 Critical Element. This is opposed to the Divine Ire Obi, which has Chain Crit 1, Critical Element 2, and Razor Sharp 1 with an open level 3 socket. Chain Crit is hard to get. The Archfiend Armor Ura likely has more practical value. If you want to use this for something specific, the Divine Ire Obi is a consideration. Finally, a few pieces have a Furious Rajang unique skill aptly named Furious. You build Rage while using Red Scroll, and then you can swap to Blue Scroll for a temporary unlimited stamina and some status bonuses. Personally, I don't like skill swap, and even if I did, the benefits of Furious don't seem overly worthwhile, especially replacing some critical pieces of gear. After Furious Rajang, you'll get a new tier of anomaly quests. You'll want to hunt both Afflicted Almudron and Afflicted Aurora Somnicant at this tier to get some very minor upgrades to your weapons, and I do mean minor. You can upgrade your Mud Slicers Plus to the final tier, Mud Shredders. These gain 10 raw and 3 water attack. Next, you can upgrade the Bloom Snow Claws Plus into Glistening Snow Claws. These gain 10 raw and 2 ice attack. An upgrade's an upgrade, I suppose. Could be a little bit more enticing in my opinion, especially how deep we are into the game at this point. The next Urgent is at Master Rank 70. This is honestly starting to feel a little bit like torture, clearing quests we've already beaten a dozen times over now. You'll get the Urgent for Crimson Glow Valstrax, our friendly neighborhood rocket dragon. Crimson Glow Valstrax's armor is exactly like it is in high rank. It's fine, but I personally don't think it's worth building, and it's definitely only worth using when using a raw or dragon weapon. Personally, I prefer versatile, general-purpose sets, and I don't necessarily like using equipment with specific activation criteria. Your mileage will vary. It's fine. Now there's the Valstrax Dual Blade. Here is a direct comparison to the Apostles. 290 attack versus 330. Winner Valstrax. Natural purple versus very long, extended white. Purple sharpness isn't as good as it was in previous games, but it is definitely better than white. Dragon attack, 43 versus 52. Technically, Valstrax has more damage, but 35% affinity versus 0% affinity for exactly 9 dragon element. Lastly, Valstrax gets a level 2 socket, whereas Shigeru Megala doesn't. This is largely preference, and you will get a higher top-end damage on Valstrax. That being said, 35% affinity is a massive discrepancy, and it's not something you can overcome with a single level 2 socket. You'll very likely have higher damage overall with Shangri-La. Even if you don't, the 35% affinity will give you better synergy in your critical synergy build for critical element, master's touch, and critical boost. The answer is you already have Shangri-La. You've been using it since it became available. You can forge the Crimson Twin Wing if you want, but too little, too late for me. The next Urgent is at Master Rank 100. This is a Magnamallow variant species that I have personally yet to fight because I'm only Master Rank 83. I am not grinding out another 17 Master Ranks for this video's completeness. I'm sorry, it's just brutal grinding Master Rank levels. I don't even know what it's called. I don't know what it's called. The Murderous Magnamallow? Let's go with Murderous Magnamallow. The Murderous Magnamallow dual blades are sure to be natural purple sharpness with high raw damage and blast element. Dual blades get their damage from elemental scaling, so blast isn't valuable. The armor's probably fine, very likely kind of underpowered and severely overpowered skills, like most of the endgame armor sets. Kind of a shame, because by the time you get here, you've been using the same gear for probably 3 times or so as long as you've played the main story. That's equipment progression for dual blades. At this point, you should be well equipped to handle whatever extra content comes after Master Rank 100 and in future updates. you should know what good gear looks like moving forward. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time, you can subscribe for more extremely detailed guides. Likes and comments always help as well. If you want to support the channel, you can use Super Chat during live streams, or Super Chat on this or any one of my videos. I'm not picky. Becoming a channel member is also a great option. Hey, you can even subscribe to YouTube Premium. This gives you ad-free viewing on all of YouTube, and every channel you watch gets a little slice of that pie. The Recommended Playing Patreon is currently on hiatus, but I may reopen it at some point. If I do, it'll be available at patreon.com/recommendedplaying. See you next time for bow equipment progression in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.